So the first question I'm going to ask, and I'm going to pass the mic on, is why did you leave the public school system?
I was going through a bad addiction for 4 years, and I was 16 when I left school. I started smoking cigarettes and weed when I was 8 years old, and then doing harder drugs by the time I was 12. And I had a very bad attitude, and teachers didn't know how to handle me, and I always blamed it on them. So after I grew up and I thought about it, and I realized it was my attitude, and they just didn't know how to handle me, and I don't know. And I guess I'm good for that one. I messed up, my bad.
My name is Carl Francis, as you all know. I'm getting a little nervous. And the reason why I left the public school system is when I was younger, I grew up in Oxford, and I can remember going to elementary school and getting picked on because I looked different from being an Aboriginal. And I used to have long hair, and I got bullied for that as well. And I honestly forget what grade it was when I went home one day and asked my mother just to cut all my hair off because I was getting tired of getting bullied. And then from there on, I went to in grade 7. I went to the high school there. I only did 1 year, and then we decided to move to Yarmouth. And I only did about 2 years up in Yarmouth, and my family decided to move again. It was really hard for me because a lot of the kids there spoke French and English. And I really didn't like the school system because it was really hard for me to catch on to French when I was in my good trade. And by the time I got into grade 8, I left. The Amherst High School really never got to know me because I was more ashamed and embarrassed to ask for help for anybody. And for a couple of months, in general, my father and my mother split up. And that they're having this program that's called OBP. It's an occupation preparational program for teens who want to drop out of school and whatnot. I really liked it because it was more hands-on, one-on-one with the teacher, and it was really easy for me from being in a big classroom with a lot of distractions. But I only did it there for a couple of months, and then my mother moved to Boston, and my father decided to move to Moncton, New Brunswick, and I just didn't want to move again. So I decided to live with my grandmother in Spring Hill. I finished grade 9, grade 10, and then I went to grade 10 again, but I also failed it. And this time I would be 18. So by the time I went back for the next school year, and they knew I was going to be turning 19, they didn't want me to go back into the school system, and they tried me to go to the NSCC. I felt really hurt and definitely really stupid at that time that I couldn't even finish high school, so I just dropped out and never decided to go back.
I left the public school system because I was bullied a lot, and a lot of bad things happened when I was in school. A lot of it happened in elementary, and I thought and in junior high, but I thought when I got to high school it would stop, but it didn't, and the teachers didn't do much to stop it, so I just gave up and quit.
I left the public school system. I kind of had it a little bit rough for a bit there. It was either I went to work and couldn't afford a place to live, or I go to school. So I decided to work instead of going to school.
Next question. What made you decide to return to learning?
Well, I tried to go back a couple of years, a couple times over the years when I quit, but it just never worked out. I tried it up in Moncton, but all they did was sit me in the corner with the workbook. I didn't know how to read or write. This is 21 years old, and and my son was born when I was 21, which made me want to change because I never knew my real father. I never met him. I talked to him on the phone twice when I was 5 years old, and that took a big toll on my life. So I just thought to myself that I had to be there for him. He'll be 4 at the end of this month. So after I started going back, our teacher Julian, he just didn't look at me like I was stupid like all my other teachers did. They just sat me by the door, kicked me out of the class, so when they kicked me out, I didn't have to walk to the classroom, and they just sent me to the learning center, so they didn't have to put up with me. But he just showed me what I was good at, and then by the time I got to stuff I didn't know, it was 10 times easier, so it really helped me a lot. So like, it was good, and
some of the reasons why I ever decided to turn back to school is because I was actually really tired of living the lifestyle that I was living. I was drinking all the time, and I was getting into some troubling issues, and I was basically tired of living from month to month on a fixed income and basically not knowing what the future in my life or what the future is going to be bringing in my life. One of the main reasons that really made me want to return to school is just to better my life, and that I know by doing that I'm definitely going to need my grade 12. I was really scared from going back to school at first because I honestly didn't even know what to expect, because I was really quite intimidated when I was younger. And so I was saying things like that, I can't do this, and that it's going to be really hard. I was making it worse than what it actually was going to be. And also, one of the main reasons why I wanted to go back to school is because I wanted to be a good role model for my son when he grows up and show my family that I can do this. And then I just need the proper education once I get my grade 12.
I decided to go back to school because, again, I have 3 kids and I am on assistance. I want a good job. I want to help my kids with their homework. I don't want to be on assistance for the rest of my life. I went back to school, and then I got pregnant for my youngest, and then I just made up all kinds of excuses why I couldn't go back because I have a baby, and just made up all kinds of excuses. But then I realized that, I need my grade 12.
I decided to go back to school because I have 2 little kids, and to be honest with you, fixed income is not the best with 2 little kids and trying to raise them. So I wanted to go back to school and actually get my business course so I have an actual career. I decided to go back.
What challenges did you face when you decided to return to school?
my biggest challenge was to learn how to read and write. When I first started to learn, I had in between grade level 1 and level 3 reading and writing level. But one of my biggest challenges when I moved back to Amherst, I got back into my addiction. So like I had to take a year off, go to rehab. I just got out May 24th, 2014, and I went there May 27th, 2013. And that made a big change in my life, and just helped me get my life on track. And when I come back here, the KNU staff is really surprised at how good I was doing and how far I come. And like my attitude, like I'm working on that, and like I don't fly off the handle no more. I just walk away and I think about it and think of the consequences and everything like that, and it's just a lot easier on my head than just like flying off the handle, and I could end up going to jail or something like that. And like I've been in jail too much in my life, so I'm glad that's over with, and I plan to keep it that way.
Some of the challenges that I faced when I first applied to the KNU for upgrading was my academics. I was very bad at math. And I wasn't really good in other subjects as well, but I had really good teachers, and in the KNU for upgrading, a lot of it was one-on-one, and then you learned at your own pace, and from there, I didn't really know what to do, or want to write my GED or go back to school and get my diploma or equivalent to it. When I completed the KNU, I heard about the KNU gap and what it really has to offer, so I applied hoping for the best, and I got accepted. Some of the things that really worked for me in the gap program is that I have a really great teacher and a coordinator who take the time to work with me and everyone in the program. And we all work together as a class, and it is a really great environment, and everyone is very supportive of everyone.
Some of the challenges that I faced was just knowing if I'd be able to afford childcare and if assistance would cover that. Wondering again if assistance would help with transportation and Yeah. I have some home issues too and personal issues, so that was a big deal. I also wondered where money would come from if I needed it for school stuff. They helped out with $50, but I needed shoes and they couldn't help with that, so.
The challenge that I faced, I have 2 little kids, so I had to decide where to put them in daycare, how I was going to afford it, and how I'm getting back and forth because I do not drive. And basically, I am not good at English, so when I got back in, it was a lot of work to try to get my English going. So that's really all the challenges I had.
So I think we'll move on. I'm noticing that there's a lot going on, a lot that without really having walked in your shoes, it would be hard to understand everything, but a lot of it has to do with getting off social assistance, finding someone who's in your corner, and working it all out with your family. A lot of you do what you do because you love somebody very deeply in your lives. So, we're going to move to round 3. I'm going to ask you to wrap up what you think are the benefits or your final thoughts. What benefits have you realized since returning to learning, and how has it changed your life?
Well, I'm confident in my skills that I learned through KNU to be able to, to be able to move on in my life and be able to work on and upgrade any skill that I've already worked on, and to just like adapt to new skills and just like be a good dad and be able to pay the bills for my son and just live a good life for once finally. And I just like I wouldn't be at where I'm at right now without KNU, and they changed my life right upside down for the good, and just I just can't thank them enough. And I'd like to thank everybody for giving me this opportunity. I'm honored, and bye.
Some of the big benefits since returning back to school is that it has really helped build up my self-confidence, and then going back to school is preparing me for the future. And it's also given me what it takes to succeed in life, and it has changed my life. This program alone has given me a lot to build on my portfolio, all as well as with my certificates, and it has really opened up my horizon with different types of jobs that I will be successful in the near future.
Some of the benefits that I now know since going back to school, I feel my self-esteem improving. I have a really, really good teacher named Shayna Davis, and every time I feel like I'm having a bad day, or every time I just don't want to do something, she'll push me in a good way to do it.